Welcome to class today. We're focusing on using the prop of a chair. And if you choose not to use a chair, feel free to sit on the floor, cross-legged or kneeling with a blanket behind your knees. We're starting with a chair because we can take the load off the hips and knees and get into some alignment awareness. So come to a comfortable seat. And let me just say before we begin, if there's ever a pose that we are doing that you find uncomfortable, then please adjust for your own body and take care of any injuries you might have and address those by taking an alternate pose and they're at home. Thank you. So let's come to that chair. So as you notice, I'm sitting with this simple chair with no arms, and I'm sitting on the edge of that cushion of the chair. So I'm taking those sits bones as my anchor. So let's feel those two bones on the either side of the tailbone at the bottom of the spine, and use those settling into that anchor of those sits bones. And let's become aware of the bottoms of our feet on the floor. So another anchor point as we come together in our virtual room. Let's just find the physical room we're in and connect. So we've got the feet on the floor, spread the toes, and you've got the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the inner heel and the outer heel. And let's just find those. So the inner heel being just at the end of that arch of the foot towards the heel, and then the outer heel on the opposite side. See if you can find that nice surface of the foot to really anchor through all of those even sides. Increasing the surface and support for the body. So rising up from the feet, traveling up those shins and the calves, we find the knees. So just behind the kneecap, you will make an alignment with your heels. So that more or less right angle with the legs. Take the hands to the thighs. Again, really anchor through the sits bones and find your seat. Hands on the thighs, allow the thighs to help the lower back. Take the hands together, so facing the fingers towards each other, and place them at the top of the thighs. And now if you can guide the skin of the thighs toward the center of the body rather than away from it, you can watch up here if you're confused. I'm just suggesting to my bones to inwardly rotate. So that's inwardly rotating towards the center of the body. My legs are about hip width apart to align with the knees. And I'm just guiding that skin. So it's a suggestion to those tissues to take this shape that guides our alignment and our femur bone a little more into that hip socket. And just, here we go. Great, now take the hands to the thighs. So feel that grounding sense of the hands on the thighs, connecting us to the earth. And then from the sits bones along from the tailbone up, we're going to rise up. See if you can grow some millimeters in between those vertebrae, rising the crown of the head towards the sky. Already you can feel taller. As you exhale, feel the shoulders drop away from the ears towards those elbows. And then inhale the arms up towards the sky and reach up, really reach up right to left as if you were picking some fruit on the left and the right. And then clasp the hands together and fingers together and see if you can take those palms up towards the sky. If you have any shoulder flexibility issues, you can just take the palms down. But if you want to take the palms up, you can really feel that expansion all the way down the arms. Raise the shoulders up towards the ears and then drop them away as you continue to reach up through the side body. So use the muscles of the sides of the torso to rise up taller instead of reaching through the arms. Great. And then take the arms back to hands back to prayer position and just sway side to side. So we get longer before we get into our breath work. Expanding the capacity of the lungs. Inhale as you reach up towards the sky and exhale as you tilt over to each side. Your sits bones are anchored this whole time. And then bring that prayer position down through main central, through past the third eye, past the throat, down to the heart, inviting peaceful, calm energy into our core. And then drop the hands to the thighs again. Now we feel a little bit more connected. Close the eyes, cut out your visual distractions so that you can go into the center of the breath. The basics of yoga practice, noticing your breath and how it guides your movement. Notice the quality of the breath as you enter class today. And don't try to change the breath at this point. Simply observe so that you can have a basis for our breath practice. Is the breath centering in the front of the body as you inhale, or perhaps the back of the ribs? Is it expanding to the side? Right or left? Is it warm or cold as it enters the nostrils? This is our autonomic breath. We can count on this every moment of the day and night. We're appreciating and witnessing at this point. As we continue to find that seat, find those feet, and grow tall through the crown of the head. Now let's enter conscious breath. Since we're finding balance today through our limbs, let's find a balanced breath. So feel free to, I invite you to have even breath. So count 5 as you inhale, pause, and then count 5 as you exhale. See if you can find the pause between the inhale and the exhale to be an even count as well. So it's rather a rectangle. So you're in for 5, hold for 1 or 2, exhale for 5, hold for 1 or 2. If your mind strays, close the eyes, find your feet, find your sits bones, find the crown of the head. In for 5, pause, exhale for 5. Two more rounds here. And as you move today, try to maintain that sense of balance in your breath so that we can oxygenate the bones, the joints, the muscles, the mind, the spirit, the body. Lovely. Now flutter the eyes open. And let's pay attention again to the feet, just looking at the toes. Spread the toes and lift the toes off the mat. Lift up onto your heels. And then press the big toe mound and the little toe mound into the mat. Press in, lift the heels off the mat. So rock back and forth between these two anchor points to find balance when you do stand up and do our different shapes here, that you find the balance between those two. So take the whole foot on the floor and now find that nice centered place where you can be there. And then your knees, let's take an awareness of the knees just above the heels and take your hands to the thighs and just squeeze the quads. So those thigh muscles, squeeze them into your hand. So just notice those activate as you squeeze them. And we'll get more into that later as well. But I just want you to be aware of those support muscles of the knee. And as you do activate those quads and fire them up, you'll see that the kneecaps do respond by being a little more centered and supported. And then let go, face forward, look up, and we'll just turn the chin over towards the right shoulder, exhaling. Noticing your neck range. Inhale through center, exhale, chin over left shoulder. Come back through center again. See if there's a little more flexibility this time. No pushing, no forcing, just soften in either direction. Come back through center. This time turn over the right shoulder again, chin over the right shoulder, and then tuck the chin towards the right shoulder. Find the collarbone with your chin and draw that line with your chin along the collarbone in towards the center of the body. And then you'll be looking down at your heart. And then chin up. Inhale. Exhale, turn chin over left shoulder. And then tuck the chin towards the shoulder and then draw that line in along the collarbone toward that jugular notch in between the collarbone, looking down at the heart. So as you're looking down, you're dropping the head, the weight of the head drops, but the shoulders stay nice and tall. You have a natural curve in the lower back. You're not hunching forward and you're not arching too much. You're finding that nice balance. Inhale, chin up, and then look up towards the sky, gentle gaze upward, lifting the chin. As we feel that top of the spine inside the skull on its axis, and then look forward. Again, let's our landmarks inside the skull. That's the top of the spine in between the ears. Then we got the back of the skull, and see if you can align that with the sacrum at the bottom of the spine with that nice lumbar curve. Aligned sitting. So when you do sit and you have to work at the computer and such, try to maintain this nice, healthy, more supported position. Inhale the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, we'll take the elbows down as if through a viscous liquid all the way down into cactus arms and hands. So right angle. And then we'll take the fingertips out like sunbursts out in all directions. Feeling that energy travel through the fingertips, light shining out, heart energy. Inhale. Exhale, and now we're going to take the thumbs behind you, opening up the collarbones a little more and drop the thumbs behind you, pinkies up. And then bring the fingertips up towards the sky again. We're going to close the forearms together, press the forearms together in front of the body. Look at the elbow creases and then watch those elbow creases as you rise up towards the sky, pressing the forearms together and the pinkies together. When you've reached your limit, open up like a curtain. Inhale, and then come back to cactus, and we're going to close it again. Thumbs behind you, close the forearms. Inhale as you rise up and open up. Great. And then one more time, exhaling, come forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, gliding through those collarbones. Sorry, not collarbones, through those shoulder sockets. Okay, bring the hands to the bottom of the ribs. So find the lowest rib. And then feel your breath. Inhale, fill the lungs and expand to the side. And as you do this, your heart energy, that sternum, tall forward. And then as you exhale, see if you can tuck the low ribs in towards the back body, just a little bit of toning there as you stay tall in the heart space. So what we're doing is activating the deep core to support our stature here. So, and feel that toning. You can lower the hands a little bit and feel those abs tone as you tuck those low ribs in. It's a guiding, it's not just a super coming forward, but just a guiding them. So keep the hands on the lower ribs. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, let's twist and guide the ribs over to the right. So we're taking all of the mobility of the spine in the beginning of our practice, swaying side to side, twisting, come back to center, and then twist to the other side, elbows out. So your hands are guiding the ribs back and forth, right to left. One more time, using your breath as your rhythm, nice and even. Come back to center, drop the hands. Take your right hand to the back of that chair. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist without the guidance of your hands. Take your left hand to your right thigh and twist. Bring the gaze over your right shoulder if that's within your availability. Wringing out that spine, and exhale, take the left hand to the back of the chair. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist. Take the right hand to the left thigh. Maybe you'll feel some snap, crackle, pop along the spine. That's okay, just no pinching. Anything pain or pinching, just come back and back out of the pose. Great. Okay, now let's focus on the legs. So you can feel free to take the hand underneath your right thigh, or just, we're going to straighten out the right leg. You can take it to a diagonal, or you can take it up and support it under the thigh. So we're just noticing as you straighten the leg that those quads activate. So actually, if you don't have underneath the thigh, take your hands to the sides just above the kneecap and notice the muscles that fire up when you straighten the leg. So that inner vastus, the inner muscle there is the vastus medialis, just to support the tracking of the knee. And the outer one is the vastus lateralis. So what we often have is a weak inner thigh. So we're going to try to strengthen that through yoga. And bend and straighten, just noticing that activation. And then come down, and you just put the foot on the floor and press your energy of the leg into your left hand inside on the inner thigh, and vice versa. So we're having some counter pressure there. Noticing that, and then take the right hand to the outside of the right thigh and press into that. And counter pressure there, hand to thigh, thigh to hand. Same on the other side. Let's take the right hand to the inside of the left thigh, press inward and press outward together. And then we'll try the outside of the thigh, left hand, press out and press the hand into the thigh. So we're just kind of getting those warmed up. And let's straighten the left leg. Keep your hand on the thigh or underneath the thigh if that's any trouble for you. You can just straighten and bend and notice that. And when we support a straight leg, we don't want to hyperextend. So the back of the thigh coming towards the floor would be a bad thing. We want to achieve a nice balance of that straightened leg supported by the quads when we stand as well. Take the foot down. Very nice. And then we're going to lift the right knee up, hang the foot down below, and just rock the foot forward and backward. So we're rocking forward and backward on the knee. So the knee is tracking front to back. So that takes a little relief off of the knee, off of the foot. And then place the right foot down, lift the left knee up, and then rock that foot back and forth. Again, just reminding that knee to track correctly. Last week we had a whole knee focus, so we're just continuing that path as well. Rocking back and forth. Great. Now take the feet to the floor, and we're going to open the knees out so we can do a forward bend. If you have a block handy, that's great, or a book or anything that would go in front of you. If you don't, it's no problem. You can just take a pose with an alternate method. So we're going to take that right thigh, we're going to support it underneath and open it out slightly to the right, keeping that sits bones grounded on the edge of the chair. Again, if any of the seating poses is uncomfortable for you, you can take something in your lower back. You can take something behind your back and just support that lower back. But we'll have a few more poses here, then we'll stand up. But let's take that right thigh out to the side slightly, and then let's take the left thigh out to the side, supporting it underneath. And noticing the tracking of your knee. So your knee is going to be in line with the middle two toes. And you're not going to open out. What we're doing is stretching the hips, because the hips track to the knees, a very important part to address as we load onto the knees. So open out only as much. Find your place that's comfortable opening here and press through the feet. So notice as you press through the feet, you'll fire up the muscles of the leg, and maybe your knee wants to track in one direction or the other. See if you can keep it in the middle there. And see if you can activate both sides of the leg on the right and the left so that you're feeling a healthy tracking of the knee. Great. Inhale the arms above the head. And then we'll come down to cactus arms again. So this is called goddess pose, victory squat. Normally we could do this standing up, but we're just doing this so that we get a sense of alignment and support beneath us. And we understand what the healthy position is to take here, especially for the knees and hips. So press through the four corners of the feet, find them, and then magnetize the feet together. And you'll feel those bigger muscles just ignite. Great. Hold that. Great. And then drop the hands to the thighs. And again, let's take in opening up the legs to the side here and opening up the hips, we're going to take the opposite spiral of the thighs. So I'm going to take the hands to the thighs, thumbs inward, fingertips out towards the outer thigh. A lot of mechanics here today. This is super important basics for our yoga poses. Inhale, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, see if you can guide the skin of the thighs outward. So it's an outward rotation. It's a suggestion to the connective tissues and to the bones to plug in, to open up and guide. You can even take that spiral all the way down the thigh towards the knee. Because as we open up the hips, the muscles that lead down to the knee, we want to make sure they match that opening. Great. And then come back up, inhale, grow tall. We're going to fold forward and we're going to fold at the hip crease here, keeping the spine long. And then find a block or the floor. You're going to take a nice long back, adjust as you need. As you watch those knees, if they start to cave inward, bring your feet in so that they're aligned over the middle two toes. So don't go down too far. If you want to stay with your hands on your thighs and just reach and grow the spine long. Inhaling through the spine, exhaling, feel your connection to those sits bones, to the earth, and maybe you come down towards the floor a little more. You can also take your hands down to a block. Inhale, grow long through the spine. Exhale, feel the feet and press through the feet. And then maybe you can feel those glutes fire up. As you exhale, see if you can find a little bit more fold. If not, just stay where you are and feel the stretch. Watch the knees again. Are they tracking? Are they trying to go inward? Cave in. See if you can support them. Press through the feet. Inhale, grow long. And then take the left hand to the block, or if you're holding your thighs, just take the shoulder and the left shoulder towards the floor and the sternum over and twist over to your right. So looking over to your right, you can look up here if it's confusing. Hands on thighs like this or hand on the block. Open up, inhale. Exhale, come down to the center. Take the right hand to the block or just twist the ribs, the sternum over to the left. Nice twist here. Come back. And then come on up. And now we're going to take those thighs in. So guide your legs in and we're going to do a chair pose at the chair. So later we'll do a chair pose without the chair. So we're going to come up onto the edge of that chair. And then we're going to take those feet in front, hip width apart, knees hip width apart, matching the alignment of the hips. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you this sideways so everybody can see my alignment. Heels to knees, knees to thighs. And then in our chair pose, we're creasing again at the top of the thighs, growing tall first, exhaling, and then we're going to lean forward and lift that energy off the sits bones a bit. We're not coming off the chair yet. We're just reaching the arms up next to the ears and reaching long, straight arms like so. And as we lean forward, ideally, this would be how chair pose would be without the chair, and you'd be firing up a lot of muscles. So let's inhale and notice the alignment here as we grow the spine long. Crown of the head towards this diagonal direction. Exhale connects you to that tailbone, to the sits bones, and keeping that curve in the lower back. So notice I'm not hunching forward, but I'm keeping a nice curve in the lower back. And my nice deep core is engaged. Now press through the heels, press through the big toe mound and all four corners of the feet. And see how that alignment feels when you press through the feet. And you can still feel things firing up, even as you're on the edge of that chair and supported by it. Exhale, let's take the hands down to the thighs and just sit up. So when we do take chair without this support, I just want you to give you that sense of that's the alignment you're trying to achieve, and not kind of caving in the knees or caving in any of our core muscles. So let's stand up now. And we're going to take the chair so that we're facing the cushion and the back of the chair is a little bit further away. And if you have a strap handy, take that, and we'll come to that soon. So we're going to do an adaptive downward dog with the chair. So we're going to stand away from the chair so that we'd have to reach out for that edge of the chair. We'll find our way there. But let's come to mountain pose. Feet are hip width apart. Inhale, stand tall through mountain pose. So your gaze is forward, alignment, that full surface of the foot, make a footprint in the sand. And then feel your heels connecting to the knee and alignment. And let's take the hands to the thighs and see if you can just get those quads to activate. They're going to lift the kneecap if you activate them. If you let them flop, then the kneecap doesn't really know where to go. But if you squeeze those quads in an upward energy, you're going to get those kneecaps lifting. And then drop the arms next to the body. Feel that nice rising up through the crown of the head. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the shoulders towards the ears just to get that sense of what that's like to be tense there. Exhale, nice and even, drop them away. Inhale the arms next to the ears. And now we're going to fold forward. So we're going to squeeze an imaginary block between those thighs so we can get a sense of our center here. And then come forward and find your way to the top of that chair back. And so that we can more or less imitate an L here. And you want an L shape, creasing at the hips, reaching along through the arms. Find your feet again, press the feet into the floor, lift the quads so the knees lift up, the kneecaps are supported. Don't hyperextend the legs. You don't want the backs of the knees towards the back of the mat. You want to find that center between. You can feel free to bend and straighten the legs if you want to find that happy medium. Bend and straighten. So the inhale is growing the spine long in that horizontal plane. And the exhale is finding the anchors, so the feet and the hands. Find your breath. And if this hurts the lower back, then you want to bend the knees. Find the length. And then take the hands to the cushion of the chair and push away, stand up. Great, getting into our hamstrings there. Nice. Let's try that again. So we really get into our hamstrings, lift up the arms next to the ears, exhale, fold forward. See if you can find a nice, even, slow grace here. Find the chair. Make that L, whether it's bent knee or straight knee. Bend and straighten. Wake up those hamstrings. And then take the hands to the cushion, push away, and stand up. So now we're going to get into those hamstrings with a strap and the support of the chair. So come to mountain and bend the right knee up towards in a 90 degrees. Take the right heel on to the chair cushion. And now we're talking about our balancing, because that left leg is taking some of this weight, right? So we want to make sure that alignment is happening. Even if you need to bend, like for I'm going to bend, come out of it a little bit so I can make sure that my left foot is nice and grounded, my knee is aligned as I lift the right leg up and take the heel to the cushion. Now find your hips. Hip bones are facing towards the chair and they're even. So you don't have the right hip hiking up. It's rather plugging in and coming towards the mat. You can bend the knee on the right leg and lasso around that right ball of the foot. And then find that connection as you hold either sides of the strap. Find that connection to the ball of the foot. And again, you want the shoulders rolling back and down rather than caving forward towards the foot. This is hand to toe pose, but we're just making it easier. Now connect to the left foot, press into the earth, and find that lift in your kneecap so you're not jamming down into it. Inhale the energy up, exhale, press through the feet. And then you can bend and straighten your right leg to kind of encourage that hamstring to open. And let's pay attention to that right leg. This is an easy way. Some people can really hyperextend here as they straighten the leg. That means this case, the back of the knee would be coming towards the floor, but we're going to make sure we don't cave in. We track that knee in a healthy manner. Open up. Great. Release the strap. Bend the right knee. Bring it back down, holding yourself nice and steady. Now we're going to shift the weight to the right side. So as you do that, see if you can maintain that evenness through the hips. Find that right side tower, heel to knee to hip. Glutes engage as you lift the left knee up and take the heel to the cushion of the chair. And lasso, bend the knee and lasso that strap around the ball of the left foot. Take those straps back so you feel nice and aligned in the body. And feel the stretch in the hamstring. So our tower on the right is nice and strong. The left hip maybe wants to lift up, but see if you can encourage it with each even exhale down towards the mat, plugging that femur bone into the hip socket. Let's check in that left knee. It's not hyperextending. Micro bend. Engage that quad. So the leg in the front there isn't just flopping out. Quads engage. And then release the strap, bend the knee, keep the hips even. Now we're going to turn to the side and we're going to take the same action, but to the side. So mountain pose next to the chair. We're going to lift the right knee up and keep that left tower strong. Take the knee out to the side. Your right heel will find the chair. Feel free to lasso that strap around the ball of the foot, or you can just stand with your foot to the side. We're opening up that right hip. So I've got the strap in my right hand and a hand on the left hip. You don't have to have your hip bones completely to the front. You don't want to force anything there, but you've got your right leg out to the side, opening up the right hip, standing strong through the left foot. Exhale, see if you can drop your right hip a little bit towards the floor if it's starting to lift up. And then just feel that length and connection. Make sure to press into the strap with your right ball of the foot. Hold onto the strap nice and strong, feeling that connection from your toe all the way back to your body. So there's a magnetizing that's happening here. Nice. And then release the strap. Take the hand under the right thigh and bend the leg and come back. And then we'll do the other side. So stand on so that your left side's facing the chair. Find that right tower, nice and strong. Strap on the left side. Inhale the left knee up towards the sky. Open up the knee to the side. And then heel finds that chair. And then straighten the left leg. Feel free to see if we can get that strap around the ball of the left foot. So why do we have the strap? It's to create that sense of connection back to the center, to support and align. Right foot, spread the toes. Take the hand to the right quad and just feel that quad engage, and then take the hand to the hip. Inhale, tall, nice length. Exhale, radiate out energy. Find your even breath. Beautiful. And then release the strap. Take that strap to the side, hand under the left thigh, bend, and now we'll take some more balancing. So this time we can actually take the chair to the opposite direction so that the back of the chair is facing you. And we're going to take warrior 3 with the support of the chair. But we're going to start out in that same position we were starting in that L. So inhale the arms above the head. Exhale, ease yourself down, creasing at the hips. Reach out for that support of the chair. Find that L shape with the body. I think I need to move myself up here so that I can myself long. Okay. Come to the back and then hold the back of the chair. Find that L shape. Now you can see your feet. Press all the 4 corners of the feet into the floor. And we're going to do one side. So we're going to lift the right leg up behind us, keeping those hips even towards the floor. We're taking a warrior 3 here. So strong through the left foot and making that long on the right side. See if the right hip will probably want to come up. See if you can keep those hip bones even. Exhale, bring the right foot down into hip width apart, the feet. Find the center again. Inhale, feel that energy traveling down the spine, finding your center. Exhale, let's lift the left leg off the floor. Get long. And even the hips. Quads on the right side engage. Exhale, come down. Again, if your lower back hurts here, you can bend the knee, bend the standing knee. And just lift. So you can see I'm bending it towards and behind the toes. And then come down again, repeating on the other side. Right foot down, left leg rises up. Use the support of the chair in this moment to observe your alignment. So you're not distracted by trying to balance too much. But you can notice the knees, the feet, and the hips. And then come down to that L, bend the knees this time, take the hands to the hips, and fold upwards. Very nice. And then we're going to step forward into a pyramid pose. So to come into our mountain. Exhale, right foot comes forward. Nice step, confident step forward. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip width, and your back foot is angled about 30 degrees. Any confusion, just look up here, keeping that awareness of the center, but at the same time, I'm coming to a wider stance. Spread the toes, magnetize the feet together, activate all those bigger muscles. Inhale, hands at hips, get long. Exhale, hip crease forward in this scissored legs. Reach for the chair if you need to get that sense of length as you lean forward. Exhale. Dip down toward horizontal as much as is available for you. And let's see if we can check in with those legs, the knees, nice and tracked and supported by the quads. Pyramid pose, and then come back up. Bend the right knee and step back. Exhale, brings the left foot forward. Step forward. Bring that stance a little more towards the edges of your mat. Inhale, grow tall. Magnetize the feet together as you tilt forward, hinging at the hips. And bring those hands to the chair to support that reach of the spine. And down. Scissor the legs together. Feel the feet magnetize towards each other. And then come on up, supported by that chair. Bend the left knee and come forward. Come back to the mountain. Inhale. I'm going to do this one more time, and I'm going to guide you on that spiral, which will support the lower back. Inhale, step forward. Taking the right foot forward. Take the hand to the right thigh, right hand to right thigh. See if you can guide that skin to that inward rotation as we bend forward. So remember when we had the legs out, we were encouraging that outward rotation. See if you can encourage the skin inward. Keep the hand on the thigh as you bend forward, hinge forward in this pyramid pose, hold the chair. But notice as the thigh turns inward, it frees up some space in that pelvic area, lower back. Press through the foot, activate that quad, and then come back up. Step back, left foot forward. Back foot angled. Left hand to top of the left thigh. Inhale, exhale, press that skin inward towards the inner thigh and crease forward, hand to chair. Use your breath to find your base of the feet, the hips. Synthesize the energy from the feet to the crown of the head. And then come back up and step back. Nice. Let's take that chair away now, just momentarily. We'll end up with Shavasana supported by that chair, but let's make sure your whole mat is cleared. Come to the bottom of the mat. And then we're going to find that hip width apart with the feet, and we're going to try that chair without the chair, okay? Inhale the arms above the head, so get the body nice and long. Find your base. Exhale, sit back in an imaginary chair. You're keeping the knees behind the toes and tracking nice and strong behind the two middle toes. Sit back. You don't have to, you can try to sit back and feel those heels as far as you can, but keep the alignment of the spine, skull to sacrum. The integrity of that alignment is more important than going way, way back. Imagine that chair was there supporting you. Press through the feet so you can feel those quads engage. Inner thighs. Exhale forward, bend, dive down. If you want to bend the knees, that's okay. Fingertips find the floor. Hang the head down. So we're looking at the world upside down. Change your perspective. Hang the head down. Feel the weight of the head, allowing that traction for the neck. You can nod yes and no. Exhale, release more. And then bend the knees, palms of the hands find the mat. Walk the hands out to all fours. Briefly, the shins will find the mat and the tops of the feet in all fours. And we're going to arch up into a cat position. So to curl the toes, curl the tailbone towards the floor. And then lift the back body towards the sky like our, well, maybe not so friendly cat. In this case, let's look at those knees. Allow the head to drop. Feel that arch of the spine, nice and healthy. Exhale, Tailbone lifts towards the sky, travel snaking up the spine into cow. And the shoulder blades pull together and then lift the head up. And then find neutral spine again. Beautiful. And now we'll take our knees behind a little bit, a few inches behind you. And we're going to bring the hips forward into a knee plank. So just the wrists below the shoulders. Squeeze an imaginary newspaper under your armpits so that you can activate those shoulders. And then bend the elbows towards the ribs as you snake yourself back down to earth here. So you got the thighs on the mat, bend the elbows to guide, then the pelvis finds the mat, and then the body, and bring the forehead down to the mat. This connection to the earth, so amazing. We don't get to bow down to it very often throughout our day. So with the hands next to the shoulders, elbows at the ribs, your third eye is resting on the mat. Just release some tension out of that third eye. Tops of the feet press into the floor. And you can feel that whole complex of your leg ignite and activate. Let's squeeze the glutes so that we guide the tailbone towards the heels. You can feel those abs engage, and then pull the hands away towards the heels, and then lift up like a snake in the grass. Lift the head up and the shoulders off the mat. Pointing the tailbone towards the heels, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Baby cobra. Exhale, flow down to the mat. Forehead down. Let's do two more. Inhale, pull back. With the hands, that energetically lengthens your spine. And then exhale back down. Inhale up one more time. You can even let go of your hands here. And then move side to side like that snake's moving around. Snake that spine. And then come back down. Forehead down. Ease yourself over onto your back, just rolling over. Take the soles of the feet to the floor, bend the knees. Keep them hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Bridging up, we're going to take that lovely snake action through the spine. Take the whole length of the arms on the mat next to you. So again, our anchor here will be the full length of our arms and the feet. So we're going to inhale into the body. Exhale, lift the hips up, curl the tailbone up towards the sky, press through the feet, align those heels with the knees. So you might want to shift around. Press through the arms, sternum comes towards the chin. This is an arch that's happening in the mid and upper back, not in your lower back, but the mid and upper back. Sternum towards the chin, pressing through the feet, align the knees. Exhale, snake it back down. Press the sacrum onto the mat. Inhale, snake it back up. Pressing through the arms, keep them part of our whole equation here. And then exhale down. We like to do our bridging in threes, just to bring that extra oxygenation to the spine and maybe a little more flexibility each time. Inhale up, tailbone up, and hips. Press the arms, feel the shoulder blades come maybe a little more together, melt the shoulders, gaze up at the beautiful sky. Exhale, snake each bone by bone down to the mat. Beautiful. Now inhale the knees towards the chest, hold the back of the thighs. Hug the knees towards the chest. And notice as you hug them, the spine will curl. That's fine. Curl into a nice little tight ball. Or I suggest placing the sacrum on the mat. Find the sacrum and plant it there so you feel that arch in the lower back. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can bring the thighs closer to the body while keeping the sacrum on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe bring the knees over closer, pointing to the armpits, opening up the hips. And then maybe rocking in circles so that we feel that sacrum getting a little massage on the mat. Circles in a different direction. Keeping the hands on the back of the thighs, take the knees towards the armpits and then rise up with the soles of the feet towards the sky. Again, that spine will curl up. So see if you can find that sacrum again. Plant it on the mat. Feel the knees dropping towards the armpits. Every exhale. A little bit more. Relax the face. Happy baby. Beautiful. Then now the feet come towards the floor and we roll over onto the right side. Let's align ourselves nice and supporting the lower back here. So we're going to take the thighs 90 degrees to the body, the shins 90 degrees to the thighs. And your sacrum and your skull, back of that skull, in a nice line. Take the palms together, arms nice and straight and long. Inhale, draw an arc in the sky above you with that left fingertips. Draw that arc, and then your back of your left hand meets the floor. But if you have a block, if you imagine that you had a block behind your sacrum, don't knock it over. We want to keep that pelvis nice and steady. Exhale, guides that ribs over towards the left. Maybe the gaze over the left hand. Press through the right arm, lift the sternum up. And we find a deeper stretch, a deeper twist. Communicating to the spine in this nice fluid twist. All of the suggested changes we've gone through today in our movements. Take that left fingertips, draw that arc up above you again. Palms meet, and then reach the left palm further than the right to protract and retract the shoulder. And roll over onto your left side. Same alignment with the knees together, thighs to shins, 90 degrees. Skull to sacrum. Palms together. Right arm and right fingertips. Draw that arc above you. Feel that twist of the ribs, the shoulders, and the head over towards the right. So feel the back of the body, just that suggestion to drop towards the earth. See if the body follows the idea. You can come further into it by pressing the length of the left arm into the mat or the floor, and then just feeling that sternum lift. Keeping the lower back steady, lumbar back steady. We're just twisting the mid and upper here. And then watch that hand as right hand draws that arc in the sky again. Palms meet, slide the right palm past the left. And then bring it back to center. So we're gliding that shoulder blade. And then ease yourself onto your back. And I highly recommend using our friendly chair today for your Shavasana, or at least for part of the Shavasana. So getting cozy up towards that chair, the sits bones towards the seat of the chair, and lift up and take your the lower part of your legs, the shins and the calves to the cushion on the chair. So we're lifting that energy, the pressure off the lower back and off the hips and off the knees. If you're in regular Shavasana and you don't have the chair, you can just take the right leg long, left leg long, and allow the feet to flop out to the side. Let's take the arms about 6 inches away from the body on either side, palms up towards the sky. If you press the length of the arms into the mat, lift the sternum up slightly, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, feel those shoulders melting, releasing, over efforting energy, overthinking. Just release that. And feel the lightness off of the hips, feel the lightness off of the knees, floating, supported. Let's connect again with that conscious breath, balanced. In for 5 counts. Pause for 1 or 2. Exhale for 5 counts. Pause for 1 or 2. And again, 5. Inhale. Guide your breath. As you guide this rhythm of the breath, notice the changes in your body, your mind, or your spirit since you began our practice today. If there are lingering tensions in the body, send a beautiful long inhale, oxygenating in that direction. And when you exhale, release that tension with intention. Use each conscious breath as an energy to heal, and each exhale, that energy to release what you don't need. And coming back to our witnessing, notice the quality of the breath and how that's changed since the beginning of the practice. Notice the quality of the mind, the spirit. If you've changed the alchemy of the mind, body, spirit today, suggesting new pathways. As we return to our activities, try to carry this sense of spirit forward. If you found yourself in a lighter place, a more open and joyous space, carry that with you forward. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the elbows, and if you have the chair, just bring the knees towards the chest, or even if you're lying down, roll over onto one side, preferably the right side, away from the heart. Inhale and exhale here. Push away with the hands, support yourself back up to a seated position on the mat. Inhale the arms next to the body, way up towards the sky, bringing that beautiful positive energy into the center, into prayer position, right through center at the heart. Thank you so much for joining me in the practice today. Namaste.